So it looks like you're doing some research on Dallas high rises. Maybe you're on the hunt for your next apartment, or maybe you're just a dreamer looking for some motivation. And if any or all of that is the case, you're gonna wanna check out this video. We are at the newest high rise in Turtle Creek, Dallas, Texas, and we are gonna be covering the floor plans, pricing, amenities, the gym, the pool, the golf simulator, the dog park, every square inch. So that way you can get an idea on if Parkview Turtle Creek could be a good choice for you. And if it's your first time swinging by the channel, welcome. My name's Lucas. I'm a realtor here in Dallas, and every single day I've got people blowing me up like you and 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 you, buying condos and renting apartments all over the city. So if you ever have any questions about anything that I cover, feel free to drop me a line. All of my information is below in the description, and I'd be more than happy to help answer any questions that you might have. So without any further ado, let's go check out Parkview Turtle Creek. "323 units resting on 20 floors. Welcome to Parkview Turtle Creek by Hanover, and it is the younger, slightly more expensive Hanover property sitting right next to Hanover Turtle Creek. And Parkview has slightly nicer finishes and amenities, and we are going to cover everything from the floor plans to the parking garage, as this property is backed by Japanese-based Mitsui Fudosan, one of Japan's largest real estate developers. And a little bit of a fun fact, they also backed Maple Terrace and the Oliver here in Dallas. And Parkview took their first batch of move-ins back in January of 2026, so this is the latest and greatest in terms of high-rises in Turtle Creek, as they just completed all of the amenity areas, and I'm excited to show it to you. As we're walking into the lobby, I'll say the vibe is similar to Hanover Turtle Creek right next door. You've got big windows, 24/7 concierge, 4 elevators, Luxor, lockers, etc. But in terms of parking, you will be sharing the same parking garage with Hanover Turtle Creek, as the garage can kind of be viewed as the bridge between both buildings. But let me make this clear, as a Parkview resident, your key fob will not allow you into Hanover Turtle Creek, vice versa, not even the amenities. The only way for a Parkview resident to get access to Hanover Turtle Creek is to make a friend there. So just a little cheat code for you. And then everything else will be the same with valet parking, as this is complimentary to residents and guests, free of charge. Now moving over to the floor plans, I've got a bunch to show you. A couple of 1 beds, a few 2 beds, and a penthouse. So for starters, we're gonna roll into the studio. So similar to other Hanover properties, you will have hardwood all throughout the kitchen and living room, and then tile in the bathroom. And then one thing that I liked about these studios are that you actually get a partial downtown view. So not sure what Hanover was thinking on that one. Most buildings will place their most affordable units facing the opposite direction of the skyline. You've also got 3 different color schemes, which will vary on each floor. And all in all, really no surprises in the smallest floor plan at Parkview. Moving up to the A1, and I like that you get the built-in desk off to the side that I just walked past. No balcony, just your standard Juliet, and we are facing the opposite direction of the studio we just saw as we are oriented towards Oak Lawn, which means we will be getting more mid to late afternoon sun and a nice sunset. So with the single vanity and a stand-up shower, this feels more ideal for either a single dude or a single lady, or a couple that has a lot of patience with each other and don't mind being on top of each other with just 742 square feet. Next up, we have the A6, roughly 50 square foot larger than the A1 that we just saw, with the major caveat being how the built-in desk and laundry room is displayed. And I lease a lot of A6s to couples, mainly because it's one of the best priced one-bedroom options for dual vanity, and I actually don't care too much for the round table that they placed in the model unit here. I think it makes it feel somewhat cramped, but that's just me, so take it for what it's worth. At least you know that if you wanted to have sit-down dinners in 799 square feet, it may be possible. So now my favorite one bedroom floor plan at Parkview. So hear me out. I would never live in Turtle Creek for reasons X, Y, and Z, but if someone put a gun to my head and said, Lucas, you have to move into a one bedroom at Parkview, I would choose the A14 for the following reasons. One, love the gas stove. The aesthetic of this floor plan is more premium, meaning it's not going to be as fancy as a penthouse, but it does have more bells and whistles than the base level floor plans like the A6 or the A1 that we just saw, because it does have a gas range and, most importantly, floor to ceiling windows, which is why you pay a premium to live in the A14 compared to others, as this A14 also faces downtown, has a huge walk-in closet, dual vanities, and a separate tub and shower, which is typically more of a two-bedroom type feature. So all in all, I know it's expensive, but just look at what you get in return and try to make a judgment call. Kicking off the two bedrooms with the B5. Now the den is sneaky. It's directly to the side as you walk in, and I almost missed it, but it's also connected to the laundry room. So I'll tell you what I like about the B5 and what I don't like. Love the larger wraparound windows in the living room, and everyone knows this. I'm the high-rise guy. I like big windows. It's just the major downside on this unit, and no shade against Hanover, is going to be the pocket window in the secondary bedroom, and you'll see that here in a sec. Now, does that mean this unit is uninhabitable? No. All it means is that if you use the secondary as either a guest room or an office like I do not plan on having a lot of natural light. The type of person that's going to choose this unit will place more value on the living and primary bedroom, knowing that the secondary is going to feel more darker. Moving over to the B6, pretty sizable, landing at just above 1,500 square feet, and the staple for this unit will be the wraparound windows in the living room. Actually, one of the best units in terms of getting natural light. So if vitamin D is important to you and your budget allows, then you want to earmark the B6 because the sun rises above the skyline, lending early morning to mid-afternoon sun. And on top of that, you also get wraparound windows in the master, which is a huge selling point. I just leased one of these to a client of mine from LA, and her number one priority was windows, and the B6 has a ton of it. The last two-bedroom floor plan we are going to look at for Parkview is going to be the B7, which is also facing downtown like the B6 and B5 I just showed you. And if I had to choose one of the three two-bedrooms I showcased, I would not choose the B7. Again, it doesn't mean that this is a bad floor plan. I'm just not the biggest fan of the peninsula countertop. I like having a true island. It makes it easier for hosting. I can run laps. I have space for more activities in my opinion. Okay, this is just how I feel about it. You might feel different, and that's totally fine. We all have different preferences. So let this one soak in because we've got the penthouse next. Okay, best for last, just below 2,800 square feet, which is about average, I'd say, in terms of the size for all of the penthouses in the Dallas market. And this might sound kind of weird, but my two favorite things about it are going to be the finishes in the powder room, which you won't see until the very end of this chapter. And then you actually get a skyline view from the study, which is huge for a guy like me. I love looking to the city while I'm working. I think it's super motivating. And I'd say the largest downside for this unit would be the placement of the pillar, which you saw in the two bedrooms, but the pillar was more off to the side or in the corner, which made it not as obtrusive in those two bedrooms. But in the penthouse, it's dead center in front of the living room windows, and I've actually seen a lot of people make this work depending on the type of rug you want to put down. I leased one of these recently, and my client decided to get the rug altered, and they put a cutout into the rug to allow for the pillar to fit. But at the end of the day, your view of the city will be obstructed depending on where you are positioned in the living or dining area. All in all, very clean finishes at the penthouses at Parkview. There's a lot to work with, and definitely noteworthy if you're hunting for penthouses in Turtle Creek.
So just a quick disclaimer, if you are getting any value whatsoever from this video, then you got to do this thing just like all of these people are doing. And they're doing it for two reasons. The first reason is that every building has pros and cons, and you're never going to be able to see the downsides just by doing one tour or watching videos on YouTube. And I have been to every building in Dallas over 100 times, doing 50 to 60 in-person tours per week with my clients, and I am listening to why my clients are choosing building A over building B. So people are calling because they want peace of mind for this decision that they're going to have to live with for the next 12 months. Second reason that people are reaching out is that I have relationships with all the leasing offices in the Dallas area, and depending on your timeline, floor plan, and budget, I could help you capture additional incentives and move-in bonuses, which can help make your living situation just a little more affordable, because the buildings actually incentivize me to bring new residents through the door. So it's not like you'd be cutting me a check for my services. That's being taken care of by the building. So it's absolutely no sweat off your back to go ahead and reach out. If you do decide to reach out, I promise that I will do absolutely the best that I can for you.
Moving over to the amenities, we are going to start with the Sky Lounge, as every Hanover property in the country will have the bulk of the amenities here on the top floor, even above the penthouses. And I'm not the biggest fan of lounges in general or work from home spaces now that I have my own office, but if I were to hang out in a lounge in any building in the city, this would be a top contender because there is a lot to do up here in terms of hosting events. There's a movie theater type area for if you want to watch the game, several private study offices if you need to work from home. So kind of similar to Hanover Turtle Creek right next door in terms of the layout, but definitely feels more elevated with the nicer finishes and the additional movie theater area. And obviously cannot skip the pool, as it is quite frankly one of the biggest selling points for any Hanover property, and as of right now absolutely zero obstruction in terms of buildings blocking the sun. Happy that I was able to get out here on a sunny day, because as you can see, you will have constant exposure to vitamin D throughout the entire day, which is a huge concern for a lot of clients of mine that reach out to me, because believe it or not, there are some high rises in Dallas that have gorgeous units and lobbies and amenities, and then a limited sunlight window at the pool because the pool is either on the ground or a lower floor, and that will not be an issue at Parkview. Moving over to the gym, and this is a lot wider and more open compared to Hanover Turtle Creek right next door, which I think has pluses and minuses. A lot of people like the gym at Hanover Turtle Creek a little better because there is a separate stretching and yoga room, but the Hanover Turtle Creek gym is more narrow, almost like a narrow hallway, as compared to this one, it's just a big square. So all in all, I am actually a fan of the Hanover gym. I know I always criticize this amenity in all of my videos. Although we have no loose barbells, at least we get a pretty sweet city view and equipment that's hardly been used. So I usually don't do this, but I decided to test out the golf simulator live on camera. As this amenity is specific to Parkview Turtle Creek only, you do not have this at Hanover Turtle Creek. And on my way in, I grabbed a modest 7-iron, okay? It's been a while since I swung the sticks. I definitely don't play as much as I used to since my 9 to 5 days. So nowadays, I get the most practice while I am on tour. And I believe this is a TrackMan, which is the Cadillac when it comes to golf simulators. And for those of you that don't know, this is a very expensive machine. Majority of them can go upwards of 100 grand plus, as you've also got a putting mat, multiple types of golfing games, and a fridge for hosting. I'll also add this amenity is first come first serve unless you have a group and you would like to reserve it. You're probably thinking one of two things. You know, maybe you're sold, right? You're ready to submit the application. And if that's the case, drop me a line so that way I can get you in touch with the right people. Maybe you're not quite sold yet, but you still want to do a tour in person. Same thing, drop me a line so that way we can get you a tour booked. But maybe you're not sold at all, right? Maybe you love the building, but you're just not a biggest fan of the neighborhood. Or maybe you love the neighborhood, but you're just not the biggest fan of the building. And if that's the case, feel free to check out this playlist because I have vlogged every apartment building within the Dallas area, of which will be helpful if you're doing some more research. With that, y'all stay safe, y'all stay out of trouble, and we'll catch you in the next video. Y'all be good.